What's up, everyone? Today I want to spend a few minutes talking to you today about Toor knives and kind of talking about some of the things that I've seen online about them, why I was a little bit hesitant to buy them at first, and just my experience with the brand. Short, but positive. So if you haven't heard of Toor knives, they are a 100% American-made knife company that is based out of Southern California, just outside of San Diego, I believe, and they are veteran-owned and operated. And it was two brothers that started the company. Connor Toor is now the brother that runs the company. I'm not really sure what happened with that. I think one of them might have just left and is doing his own thing now. But Connor Toor is the one who's responsible for the designs, and he and his brother started the company, I think in their backyard or garage or something, making fixed blades, which is pretty cool. But they are known for their fixed blade designs. And recently they've started to get into folding knives over the past couple of years, and they had different iterations of some successful, some not. So we'll talk about that later. But I was first introduced to Toor knives when I was walking past their counter at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I hadn't really heard of them much at all outside of that. And I would always walk by and look and see the really nice designs that they had in the case there of just the fixed blades. But I always thought they're so incredibly expensive. I didn't really want to pay that for a smaller brand. And I'm a little bit hesitant to spend that kind of money on a knife from a smaller brand, especially if that brand that you go online and really the only things you see are questionable reviews about their customer service, about the quality of some of their folders. And again, it's not your Spyderco, Benchmade, Case, Buck, Microtech, gigantic American-made knife company. And so it's a little bit more difficult to find reliable information on them. So I didn't want to take the chance and get a bad knife and then have a poor experience with customer service and be out a couple $100 on one of their knives. So I held off for a long time, and I kept just looking at them and seeing them pop up on different stores and sales and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm really going to put some time in and try to find some positive reviews, try again and see if the reviews have improved after a couple months. And still, it's just a little bit difficult to find stuff online about them. So kind of disregarded that, didn't really listen to what was said online, didn't really listen to my gut either. And I found an incredible deal on Optics Planet. This is the Merchant 2.0 folder. It's a titanium frame lock, again, 100% made in the USA by Toor Knives. And I found it for $174 on Optics Planet when it's normally $295. So I thought, okay, that's kind of a deal that's too good to pass up. So I ordered it. Absolutely fell in love with it. It is an amazing knife, really, really nice frame lock, rock solid lockup, S35 VN steel, again, titanium on the outside. So it was my first titanium knife, so there was some appeal of that. And within a couple hours of having received this in the mail, I immediately got on Optics Planet and ordered another version, which is the Tanto version in Spanish moss. And I absolutely love this color. I don't know if you can, I guess it is showing pretty well on the camera, but it's a pretty muted green color. It's not quite that OD green, but it's not quite a vibrant green either. So I really like that color. Couldn't really tell it online, but it turned up nice. However, that being said, after a few hours of using this, I did have a little bit of an issue with the detent, like a lot of people online had said. So I reached out to Toor on Twitter. I DM'd them and said, hey, I'm having this problem. I got this a couple hours ago. And almost immediately they responded on Twitter and said, hey, email our customer service. And so I did. I sent them an email, and it was pretty later in the evening, and they're West Coast. So sent them an email, didn't really expect to hear back for a little while. And then almost immediately the next morning for them, probably around 11 or noon for me, I received an email back saying, hey, so sorry about that. Please feel free to send it in. We'll take care of you. We will fix it up and get it right back to you. And I at that point, had figured out the issue and fixed the issue myself. But I wanted to share that just to show that, it wasn't perfect, but everything else about it was awesome. I mean, again, the lockup on here, it's hard to show that it's rock solid on camera because it's hard to make it seem like genuine. But it really is just an awesome, durable, solid knife that I have had for, I don't know, a couple weeks now, and I've really enjoyed using it. The coating is held up really well. You can kind of see there's maybe a few scratches on there. Maybe it's a little scuffed up, but the coating is held up quite well. I think they call it gun coat, which I hadn't heard of. I've only heard of like DLC and Cerakote, but it seems to be working really well. Now, a couple days later at this point, I get this other one in the mail, and I notice this one has an incredible action on it. I mean, blown away by the action. One of the best frame lock actions I have ever held. Owned for sure, but even held just in stores and stuff. and it's awesome. I mean, rock solid lockup. Again, the color I think is fantastic. If I could make the perfect knife out of Toor, at least, it would be the uncoated. It would be this just in the drop point, I think. The Spanish moss color with an uncoated blade just in drop point. So I'm not a huge Tanto fan, but I really, really like the look of this. I think it's a great knife. I was a little bit skeptical of the widening towards the base, but it actually is really comfortable when you do hold it. I always thought the Strider knives, I think they're the ones that get real big towards the end, or I'm pretty sure it's Strider. I don't know too much about them, but I always thought they were really ugly, and I was like, there's no way that's comfortable. But when you do hold it, it really is comfortable. It fits really nicely in the hand. You can get a good grip on it. And it still looks, it's got a really nice look to it, I think. The look has grown on me, even since getting it. I really pretty much ordered it because I thought it looked cool. And it has grown on me even since buying it. Now, for a lot of people, I know blade centering is a huge issue. So this one did not come perfectly centered. But I was able to kind of look past that just because the action is so awesome. And the lockup is, again, the same as the other one. There's no way, again, for me to really show it on here. But just no wiggle at all in the blade. And that's something that's a little bit rare to find, I feel like, these days. Some of the knives that I get will be pretty wobbly if you don't tighten them up. But those are perfect right out of the box, other than, again, that centering issue and then the small issue with the D10 as well. So really, really enjoyed the Merchant 2.0, but I thought, okay, you know what? Some people were probably right about the minor quality things on the internet. Could I fix the blade centering? Probably, if I was inclined to sit there I tried for maybe 10 or 20 minutes and I couldn't get it. So I kind of just gave up, but I'm sure I could fix that if I put some effort into it. I've been using it, so I don't really care that much if it's perfect in terms of centering. Otherwise, it's absolutely perfect. But I went, and a couple, probably weeks later at this point, I ordered a mystery box from NC Blade that I talked about on one of my other videos. And I told them, hey, they offered to, try to make a box for you. And so I said, hey, I like American made knives. Just recently got into Toor, and I really enjoyed their folders. And they sent me this Marlinspike as part of one of my mystery boxes, which I've not really found a use for yet. Probably nice for like a center punch or something, which I don't really have a use for a center punch that often, but I have before, and I haven't had one, and it's driven me crazy. So the one time a year I need a center punch, I'm sure it'll be nice. I have thought about trying to tie lanyards around it and stuff. So I don't really have a use for it, but it is cool. It feels quality. The sheath, you can tell, is made really well. It's got a nice click to it. Kydex. So really, really nice sheath. And I was like, okay, don't really have much use for it. A couple weeks go by again, and I got another 2 NC Blade mystery boxes where they send me the Crewman. This is the Toor Crewman. And this is the Toor Mullet, which I just got today. Both I have been really, really impressed by. So I originally was going to make this video with just the Crewman because that's all I had. And then this came in at this point, and I figured, okay, well, I'm just going to redo it now that I have another one to throw in here. And the Crewman I was blown away by. The just feel of it overall. It fits in the hand perfectly. It's not that heavy considering how thick the blade is. It's crewware steel. It's got a really cool looking, they call it the war saw on the back, and it's a clip point blade. So I was really psyched to get this because my previous favorite fixed blade is the Benchmade Fixed Adamas, which I'll grab right here. And it's about the same size as that, same steel, same kind of look. It's got that desert-y look to it. Similar in size, and this thing is leagues above the Benchmade. I'm going to be honest. I love the Fixed Adamas. It's one of my favorite knives of all time. This thing is so much better feeling in the hand than that, and I was really, really impressed by it. It comes with handles on it too, so G10 handles, great pattern and texture on them, and you got some jimping on the back here. So I really, 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 really like the Crewman. I think it's a great design, very, very cool looking. Again, they're tactical looking knives that don't look cheesy. They really are just great aesthetically, as well as I'm sure functionally. Haven't had a chance to use them because, again, I've had this for like maybe, I don't even know if it's been a week at this point, maybe a week and a half. And this one I've had for maybe 3 hours or so. So haven't really had a chance to use them yet. But this one is the Mullet. And honestly, I think I might like it better than the Crewman. The texturing on the Crewman is a little bit rough. So you can hold on to it really well, but it's not so comfortable when you're taking it out of the sheath without gloves on or stuff. I pretty much wear gloves anytime I'm working outside. So It doesn't bother me that much, but the texture on this is a lot more comfortable. It feels like it fills up the hand a lot more, and I'm sure it's a little bit wider than the Crewman. Now, both sheaths I've been really impressed by too, because they have great lockup and retention, and there's a little bit of like padding or something inside there. I don't know if you can see it in there. But the knives fit real well into the sheath, and it took me a little while to actually break in the one for the Crewman. It still is not perfectly going. I really probably gotta loosen it up a little bit, but I'm trying to just break it in. So really, really impressed with those. I've had nothing but a positive experience with the fixed blades. The grinds on both of them are great. I looked at those before. Trying to show that here. And the grind on the Crewman was also great as well. Both came absolutely wicked sharp. The Crewman is in Crewwear steel, which I noticed when I was filming this the first time. Crewman, Crewwear. I don't know if I picked up on that at first, but I thought that was kind of funny. And then the Mullet is, I believe, CPM 154. I'm not sure. It doesn't say on the blade. It says 831. So maybe it's 831 steel, but I'm pretty sure I read it's CPM 154. But really, really, really impressed with both of these. So hopefully that's helpful to you. I know, again, there's not a whole lot of information online about Toor, and I want to put to rest the rumors, at least that the customer service is unresponsive and bad. That is just simply not the experience that I had. They don't know that I'm like a YouTube. Some people will say, "Oh, it's because you have a YouTube channel." They don't know that I have a YouTube channel. I don't think. So I don't think that was the reason. I think they just genuinely wanted to help. Now, again, I mentioned the 2 minor quality issues that I have with the folders, but I think, again, they've only been making folders for probably 2 or 3 years at this point. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to get all those issues ironed out, but they really, 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 even still with those issues, are phenomenal folding knives. Great little size too, at like 3.5 inches. So there's a lot of potential there with their quality, I think. And just to expand on the folding knife designs. They have lots of other fixed blade designs. These are just 2. I don't know if these are even the popular ones. I think the Mullet is on the more popular side. I know they're releasing stuff pretty frequently. They have the Willow, I think it's called, coming up soon, and that's just a small kind of game knife for outdoors hunters. It's a little bit more thin than these. These are both really thick. And that's another thing about Toor too. A lot of their designs, you have to pay attention to the thickness. I was looking at buying the Cryptea, I think it's called Cryptea, and it's like a 1/4 inch thick, and it's probably the same size as the Crewman, maybe a little bit smaller. So it really is thick, and that's probably more for just outdoor, hard, just beating on your knife and not wanting to worry about it snapping at all. The tip on this, you'll notice, is a lot more fine than something like the Adamas or the Mullet or the Strong Arm that I have also right here. Like because it's a clip point, you're not going to want to be doing any crazy prying with that, like the Strong Arm here. But regardless, these feel like rock solid knives, and I'm excited to use them. I'll keep you updated for sure. I'm making a lot of videos with these, but Toor is slowly climbing the ranks into my favorite brands for sure. So really, really excited about that. Definitely go check out their website. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, so I wish that they would send me stuff. That'd be awesome. So if they end up watching this and want to send me whatever, I'd be glad to take a look at it. But really, really, really great brand. Great that it's 100% made in the USA. Great that it's veteran owned. I really appreciate that, and I look for those things in knives. So keep up the good work, Toor, and hopefully y'all will go check them out. All that being said, does that justify the price of these knives? I am not going to make that decision for you. They are on the pricier side. Their fixed blades generally are $250 to $300, which is pretty pricey, and the folders are in the $300 range. That being said, you can scout around and find some pretty damn good deals on a lot of these. They have sales on their website. They have sales on Optics Planet. Blade HQ has a couple that are on sale right now too, so keep an eye out. They're definitely worth getting. I was hesitant at first, like I mentioned at the very beginning of this. Don't be hesitant. You are going to get a quality product, and if you don't, like I did with, again, the minor issues with these, they will fix it for you. I'm absolutely certain of it. But they were great. They made sure that I was not, going to be stuck with a bad knife. So that's always really important too when you're purchasing a knife. You got to make sure that they have great customer service. But hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that adds to the information about Toor on the internet. I'll keep talking about these guys for sure if they keep putting out great products. And I really, really appreciate you all watching and subscribing. So Thanks. Let me know if you found this helpful. Let me know if you have a positive or negative experience with Toor. Let me know in the comments or reach out to me on Twitter. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I know there's some mixed stuff about Toor online, and in my experience, it's been, again, nothing but positive. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what else you'd like to see, and enjoy the rest of your day.